Okay, the screen is visible to you, guys. As the screen is visible to you, no. Yes. Okay. 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 Okay, guys. Actually, I'm using a different device. That's why I'm having some confusion in this. Okay. So we will start with the next three sessions. So, guys, any doubts so far? Like whatever we have discussed. So we discussed the first three chapters, right? The first chapter related to emergence, scope, and common sense. Then we discussed about the chapter two, positivism, non-positivism, theoretical strands, quantitative, qualitative methods, research methods, then stratification, then thinkers, work and economic life. In that, mainly three topics. The three topics is what you need to focus on. They will ask you twisted questions, right? Formal, informal. Within that, they can ask you informal, formal, different combinations, feminization of work, right? And all these things they can ask you. Technology and informalization, urbanization and informalization of jobs, and all these things they can ask you. Labor and society, right? Then we have also discussed about family, right? So within that also you can get a lot of different combinations, contemporary trends, the disintegration of marriage due to technology advancements in social media, and all these things, right? Lineage descent, its application, the rules, the patriarchy, sexual division of labor. Okay. And uh, I think we have done all these fairly in a good way. Is there any doubt so far with respect to any of these questions? If not, we will be trying to do these three chapters together today, and maybe one more session we will take. What I'll do is today I'll focus on discussing few concepts, and then questions will be directly from the concepts, guys. These are very easy and direct question. And then, guys, even if you have not studied anything, these are the questions, right? Education, social change, science and technology, social change, all these are general question to an extent. How religion is important in the contemporary society, how functionalists have understood religion. So when I see functionalist, you will be also talking about functional aspect as well as the dysfunctional aspect. Manifest function, latent function, dysfunction. Now all these things are clear to you, right? The structure should be very clear to you, and exactly the same way you need to put the content. Now the content wise also you will not be facing any problem. Here from these three chapters I have incorporated my notes and other points from Harlambos what is required, and every other sources I've taken. Around 150 pages is there, guys. Trust me, for paper one, whatever we have given to you, whatever I have given to you, that is enough. Now just take the compilation of this and take a printout of it and keep it with you, and keep on revising the same thing again and again. And each and every question should be there in your mind. You should not miss anything, so that beyond this, trust me, guys, if in case if you are getting anything beyond this, just leave it. That beyond this you cannot also do, guys. This is the best thing, best way to learn through the questions, and that's what I've done. All possible combinations I've taken. In case if they're asking with from here only, they will ask you, but maybe the words may change, but again you will be adding the same contents, right? So disintegration of marriage, if they're asking, we will be writing from the contemporary trends, like live-in relation, reconstituted family, gay parent family, right? Single parent family. All these things are one way or the other connected. So what I'm telling you now is, with this we will be completing the paper one, whatever I have given to you. It will come around how many pages, guys? Hardly 500 pages, right? And in that 500 pages also, a lot of repetition is there, a lot of content is repeating. So you don't want anything beyond this. Okay, otherwise if I want you to read something, I'll quickly tell you from for chapter 1, for this emergence of sociology, you may need to go for this Harlem-Bose or TB Bottomore, right? TB Bottomore is what you can go for. And then chapter 2, chapter 3, research methods, if you need, you go for Harlem-Bose. Except social change, all chapters, stratification, Harlem-Bose, thinkers, Harlem-Bose, politics and society, Harlem-Bose, religion, Harlem-Bose, family, Harlem-Bose. What more, guys? Everything. In case if you need something extra, if you feel like beyond this, if you need something, but let me tell you, you don't want anything. I just want to tell you again and again, because you need to have that confidence, guys. If you have the printout of all these notes which I've given to you. You read anything, any previous year question, beyond this you won't find anything. Okay, so if you have that confidence, just trust me and just follow this for paper 1. I cannot tell the same in case of paper 2, but I'll tell definitely this is what you need to do for paper 1. And only thing that you need to do is just take printout, keep it with you, revise the same thing again and again, multiple times. No, in case if you're getting anything beyond this, just ignore that everyone will face the same issue. Okay, so this is what you need to do for paper 1. Don't do anything beyond this. Okay, so we will start with today's session. Now we will be covering the rest of the areas. What we left now? We have to do religion and then social change. These are the politics and society also. So when it comes to politics and society, വെച്ചിട്ട് പോയിക്കോട്ടോ. ഇല്ല ഒന്നുമില്ല. Okay, so social change, again guys, these are the questions directly education social change, which is there in the syllabus. So there is nothing to teach you in this, right? Whatever answer which I have given to you here, if I am trying to read it, it will be like waste of time for both you and me. You guys are matured enough now to read, and what all things which are social mobility, main point which you should not miss if it is related to education is this one, social mobility, right? And everything else you can get it from here. You also need to write some dysfunctions as well. Okay, so thinkers have been given: Parsons, Raymond Borden, okay, Paul Willis. What a feminist perspective is given, Marxist perspective is given. This Althusser, this one should be there in your answer. Ideological state apparatus, how they are using it as ideological state apparatus. Just study that. Ivan Illich, these two are very important, guys, when you're talking about Marxist. Althusser, any question related to education, it should be there, apart from functionalist view, and then the view of deschooling, that is Ivan Illich. So these two should be there. Otherwise, things are simple, pretty easy only. So just go through that. Okay, now we have to discuss this. Firstly, if you see the theories of social change, I'm not here to discuss all the theory. There are dependency theory, the Immanuel Wallerstein theory, all these I'm expecting you already know. But if you see most important theories, I hope this anyway is covered. Even we have covered this. Marx theory of social change we have covered. So obviously you need to go for theory of mode of production. So no need to explain that. You know Marx theory of social change. And then what about Durkheim theory of social change? It is not explicitly mentioned in chapter 10, but they will connect this question from thinkers and they will ask you, right? So that is nothing but mechanical solidarity to organic solidarity, division of labor, right? How this transition have happened. Now, what is the commonality in case if they're asking for a comparison between Marx and Durkheim? Can you guys tell me at least one comparison? Normally we won't find any commonality between Marx and Durkheim. Both are polar opposites. Both are polar opposites in terms of what? In terms of perspective. That obviously will mention. One see things in a functional approach, functional way. The other see things by using a conflict approach. But what is the commonality? Especially the theory of social change. Not concern for social stability. Okay. No, not economy as a base of social change. That is mainly Marx. If you are talking about division of labor as economic phenomena, Durkheim never consider it as economic phenomena. Yes, Afsal, that is what. Both are using evolutionary perspective. So both are tracing the society from its history, right? Evolutionary approach, and both are giving importance to macro approach or importance to society. So if at all you need to write some similarity, obviously if they're asking you a comparison, you need to write this. And then differences are plenty, and you know that from the different sources that we have discussed. Okay, now what about Weber theory of social change? When you discuss, actually you will discuss, you see, agents of social change. Okay, there you will see different agents of social change. Education is one agent, science and technology is other agent. Similarly, industrialization, urbanization, and all these are indicating change as well as initiate change. Similarly, religion is also an agent of social change. That is mostly reflected in the writings of Weber. So what is that theory, guys? You know that we discussed it in that chapter also, Protestant ethic and spirit of capitalism. So what is that main agent of social change here? It is nothing but the religion. How the particular ethic, religious ethic, resulted into the development of capitalism is what he have highlighted here. You know that. Now again, if they're asking about Parsons theory of social change, okay, what is this? You firstly talking about the moving equilibrium concept. That means society is always in an equilibrium, and that equilibrium is maintained all the time with the help of specific mechanisms. But there can be disturbance at some times, and this disturbance, when it occurs, there will be a feedback, and mechanisms will act again and will maintain the equilibrium, right? We have discussed about this. Specific mechanisms, they are there for what? They fulfill needs, and then what will happen? Bring society in equilibrium. So society is always in an equilibrium. This, why it is called as moving equilibrium? There can be a temporary disturbance, and that time when the equilibrium break, the feedback will be given, and then specific mechanisms will act. And I've given you examples like cyber crimes and nuclear families have emerged and all those things. It all depends on the situation. Now, once you write this, you also need to talk about cybernetic hierarchy of control, because the action systems, four action systems that Parsons discussed, are in always continuous exchange, in interaction in terms of different exchanges, energy exchange and information exchange. Once there is a break in the flow or there is a change in the order, what will happen? Disturbance happens. So the disturbance come when there is a problem in the flow of energy exchange or information exchange. That's when the specific feedback will be given, and the specific mechanisms will act and fulfill the needs and bring back equilibrium. So guys, these are the four most important theories of social change which we have done in Thinkers. That is why I've stressed on here. Now there are other theories, Sorokin's theories there, Smeltzer theories there, strength theories there. Okay, a lot of cyclical theories there. All these are given here. In case if it is required, I can briefly mention, but otherwise all these are self-explanatory and very simple. But I want all of you, anyway, we'll come to that, to go with each and every theory, because you don't know what theory they're going to ask you, right? They can ask you the cyclical theories of social change. They can ask you Immanuel Wallerstein theory, Andre Gunder Frank theory, development dependency concepts. All these can be asked. All these are given as questions here, and the solution is also given in that. A detailed explanation is given for each of these. Okay, so when you are writing, so select accordingly and write those questions which you feel as slightly difficult. Okay, so that's about social change. Now again, if you see religion, same as the case, guys. If you see, okay, science and technology, do you want me to discuss this? Nothing to discuss, just go through this. Now, directed social change, this is something which should be coming in paper 2 in terms of, you know, that chapter which you have to study related to planning. Directed social change means it's related to planning only. Okay, so what kind of planning? Indicated planning, imperative planning, and then how is it resulting in a desired social change that is, which is already fixed. The goal is fixed. That's what I mean by directed social change. It is nothing but planning. Okay. Okay, go through that. Subculture theories of deviance, bureaucracy. Whatever is the key points, it's underlined. This we have already discussed in Thinkers, and I've told you all these are important thinkers where you need to bring in this question. Alvin Goldner, Merton, Peter Blow, okay, Robert Michaels. Pressure group. Different types: promotional, protective pressure groups, institutional, associational, non-associational, anomy pressure group. Examples of each are given here. Go through that. Okay, now these concepts. This is again very important. I'll discuss these concepts. So we have mainly 4 different concepts, right? Fundamentalism, and then revivalism, and then communalism, secularization. So these 4 I'll discuss now. But before that, guys, when you see this chapter on religion, let's first focus on the theories of religion. There are functional theories, and there are obviously Marxian theories, conflict theories. So conflict theory, we just need to talk about Marx only. Okay, so you know what to write if it is related to Marx, right? Marx theory of religion. Religion is part of superstructure, which is created by the economic infrastructure. If it is shaped by the infrastructure, the role of religion will be to help in the functioning of the infrastructure. That is a system. So religion is acting as the opium of masses, giving the fake promises and everything, right? It is a heart of heartless world, soul of soulless condition, and opium of masses. So anyway, that you can discuss in detail using the perspective and the content that you have already studied. What about Weber? We have discussed the same thing, Protestant ethic and spirit of capitalism. Do you know the theory of religion by Durkheim? That's what we have discussed in the elementary forms of religious life, right? Sacred, profane concept, the causal functional explanation, state of exaltation, collective effervescence, created totem, all these indirect experiments that we have done. Once he established the cause of totem, he established that it is the cause of religion. So we have done that, and he also explained the function of religion in terms of integration. So when Marx says it is leading to conflict, here it is saying integration. So these are the three important theories. Apart from that, Parsons, what Parsons is talking about, guys? Parsons says religion is acting as an instrument of social control, because most of the activities that, deviant activities which we are not doing because of fear of religion. So when we know that, or when we are of the belief that the God is there at the top and seeing everything, that we won't do some deviant activities. So it acts as a social control. Also, adult personality stabilization, almost the same function as what you have discussed when it comes to family, primary socialization and adult personality stabilization. So when it comes to adult personality stabilization for Parsons, family as well as religion also play a role into that. Okay, so social control and personality stabilization. What about Malinowski? Not important for us because we just need this for mainly. But Malinowski also talking about the solacing and comforting function of religion, right? Yeah. So there will be some life crisis in the life of individual. It could be death of a very close person in your life, okay, in your family, or life, birth, puberty, death. All these life crises, religion will act as a solace or provide the comforting function because of certain rituals. And when you perform such rituals, you will feel relieved, right? For example, somebody very close to you has died, so you believe that this is your duty to do certain kind of rituals and he will be happy and all those things. That is why you are doing it, and once you have done that, it's a kind of relief that you're actually getting. That's okay, whatever it is, just write solace and comforting function. They will not ask you this separately. They can only ask you what are the functional theories of religion. So if they're asking you functional theories of religion, talk about Durkheim, talk about Parsons, talk about Malinowski. So, or when they're asking functions of religion, rather than asking functional theories of religion, you will be writing functions as what one of the function, Weber, social change. Or you can also talk about Tocqueville, that he's talking about establishment of democracy in your societies because of religion. But let's not get into that things, because when you have Weber, you don't want anyone else to say religion acting as an agent of social change. Durkheim, force of integration. Parsons, social control, stabilization of personality. Malinowski, comforting functions. Also talk about dysfunction, guys. Marx, opium of masses. Merton, multiplicity of religion create conflicts. Okay, so when you have this much content, you can just revolve around and you can write a very good answer, whether they are asking just functions of religion, or they're asking what are the functions of religion, how the others have criticized it, or critically evaluate the functions of religion, or simply critically discuss religion and its role in the contemporary society. All these you will be answering by using these 6 or 7 thinkers, along with your perspective and your points and your approaches and the other knowledge that you have with respect to religion and your observations, contemporary society, and all those things. Okay, but these are the names which you should not miss if the question is asked. It doesn't matter what kind of words that they are using, what kind of, whether it is just examine or critically discuss or critically analyze. Doesn't matter what, you need to bring in all these thinkers in your answer. Okay, now the next important topic that they used to ask from this is the concept of sex and cults. Okay, so guys, this is a very important concept. If you know this concept, then this is a very simple one. It's like this only, just remember this: cult and then sect. Even though you read it like always sect and cult in your answers and everywhere, but cult comes first. Okay, so just reverse it, and then this lead to religion. So this in between, there is something called as denomination. This concept is given by Howard Becker. The cult, sect, religion continuum, the concept is given by Weber. Okay, and then denomination is added by Becker. Denomination is when the sect is getting cooled down. Actually, this is starting as a protest against mainstream religion. So this cult is coming from a religion, obviously, right? As a protest group, protest related to some kind of practices which is there within the religion. Then that will become a sect, some more organized, and then it becomes a religion, much more organized. So denomination is when the protest is almost gone and the sect is getting cooled down. And guys, there are some conditions. This will be leader oriented. Sect is like mostly followers are leading that. Okay, here membership will be more, here some very less membership. Okay, and here membership is voluntary. Here by birth you will be a member of a religion, and this is much more organized, like that. Here it won't challenge the mainstream religion completely. Cult, they will just come up with an idea, different idea, but at the sect level you challenge the mainstream religion, and this is mainly handled and led by the followers. Here it is leader oriented, somebody who propagated the idea, here the followers of that person. Okay, so now here it will come to religion, and from here another cult will come, that will become a sect, and that will become a religion. And guys, it is not necessary that this cult become a sect and religion. It can end as a continuous cult stage itself. Okay, it may not become a religion as well. So that detailed notes are given. And then, okay, now we need to also discuss about these concepts like fundamentalism. So guys, fundamentalism means it's a belief on your religion. It's a strict adherence to religion and its beliefs and its practices. That's what you mean by fundamentalism. So it believes in the infallibility of scriptures. Scriptures will never fall, right? Scriptures will be there. That is the ultimate truth and reality. So you stick to your religion, you follow your religion, your religious practices, your beliefs and everything. That's what fundamentalism. So guys, fundamentalism as such is not a problem. It will become a problem only if you try to impose it on others. Okay, I always tell this one. Or if you try to impose it on someone, you believe in something, you belong to this religion X, no problem. The other person believe in this religion, no problem. You excessively follow that religion, that situation is what fundamentalism. Fundamentalism as such is not a problem, but we have understood in a different way due to media and all the other way. Here we are discussing the concepts. Okay, now if you try to, this religious person, he try to impose his belief on, like, you are a Hindu, you don't eat cow, don't impose it on other community, right? So that is when it becomes a problem. So fundamentalism is a problem only when it is imposed. I've given a lot of examples in the notes. Now guys, when it comes to communalism, most of the people have understood fundamentalism and communalism are the same. Okay, so communalism is like, it is as a concept, sociological concept, it is nothing but exploitation of any tradition, any social tradition, in terms of getting some secular benefit. So means exploitation here means you use this social tradition for mobilizing the masses. Okay, now how you're going to mobilize masses? You can either use maybe caste as a social tradition, language is a social tradition, region is a social tradition, religion is a social tradition, and all these are nothing but communalism. But all these are studied separately in Indian context, and that is the reason why religious mobilization is what we take as communalism. So if you see communalism, it is just mobilization of masses for getting some benefit. Now imagine Muslims are mobilizing the community for getting some secular benefit. Is that a problem? It is not a problem. If they want some benefits, maybe reservation or some benefits they need from government or any other source, right? It is not a problem. It will become a problem only if it creates divisive impact on society. And mostly, if you see such kind of mobilization, it will definitely create some kind of divisive impact. And that situation is what you consider as the problem. The pathology will be coming or created when there is a divisive impact in the society. So I hope you understood the concept, fundamentalism and communalism. Similarly, guys, whenever I talk about this ism, it's an ideology. Isation is a process. Okay. Now, similarly, if you see secularism, it can be simply understood in terms of secular society means modern society. It is modernity. So all the elements of modernity you take here, that is what means secularism, like plurality, right? Coexistence of different religion. All religions are treated equally. In Indian context, we understand secularism in terms of that only, equality for all religion. Every religion is considered equal. Okay, and religion will not play any role in any other matters. So that is what you mean by secularism. Secularism is also understood in terms of like no god or no religion concept. Okay, now how it came, we discussed about emergence of sociology, modernity and all. Before that, dark ages, religion play key role in everything. The relations are designed and defined by the religion. The politics is defined by religion. Everything, the state is controlled by religion, right? Everything was decided and defined by religion. But then modernity, that time the role of religion is coming down because science started playing prominent role. Science started explaining everything using evidence and reason. So religion lost its significance. During this time, that period, people faith in God has come down. People attendance in churches have come down. That situation is when you are discussing the role of religion is coming down. Secularism, right? No God, no religion concept. Or if you see the Western notion of secularism, it is like religion will not interfere or play any role in the affairs of state. Okay, so till then that was not the situation, right? So that is the one dimension of secularism. The other dimension is very simple: equality, modernity, multiplicity of religions, existence of more religions, coexistence, emergence of sect and cult. All these are considered as secularism. Now, what do you mean by revivalism? Again, the same evolution. If you talk about this moving, right? We have understood initially religion is playing key role, then role of religion has come down, secularism. Then over a period of time, again, the science cannot explain everything. So role of religion have increased further. People need like this solace and comforting function of Malinowski, which can never be provided by science. So religion have still some role, right? Especially in life crisis and other things. So people started going to churches, and then attendance started slowly increasing. That situation is what revivalism. But my point here is, if you get a question on any one of this, other three concepts need to be brought in. For example, you're getting a question on secularism. Suppose you're writing on secularism. You should be writing about all these things. This is the main, otherwise I know all of you know this concept. What my objective here is to tell you, suppose I got a question on secularism and I'm writing. So you can write what is secularism, what are the dimensions of secularism. You can even talk about the articles from Indian Constitution. This is what secularism for Indian concept. Talk about liberal form of secularism, like Nehruvian model, orthodox form of secularism like Gandhian model, Marxist version of secularism. Okay, all these you can mention. But guys, towards the end, what I want to tell you is when you're writing the threat to secularism, talk about revivalism. Talk about what fundamentalism. It's a threat to secularism. Talk about communalism. So the idea here is when this concept is asked, you are also talking about these three concepts. Along with that, you will also tell one more thing. You will incorporate sect and cult in your answer. Now, how are you going to tell sect and cult in your answer? You will explain this in two ways. Now, listen very carefully. Question is about secularism. You are saying that existence or emergence of sect and cult indicate a secular society. Why? Because this shows tolerance. That is why they are emerging. So it is indicating a secular society. At the same time, emergence of sect and cult indicate that religion is playing a more important role now. That is a threat to secularism also. Okay, guys. So imagine if you can write like this. This is a problem. Everybody knows secularism. Everybody will write about secularism. You will write about Brian Wilson and all the thinkers. I have given you around 10 thinkers here, guys. You will never face problem with the thinkers. Trust me. Everything is there. You can talk about Marx. You can talk about every different concept that is given. But how you're going to interconnect all these is what matters ultimately. Okay. So question is this. You will be talking about all these. That is how you need to connect. What else now we need to do? Political parties. You can expect a short note, obviously, okay? Critically examine the role of political parties in strengthening of democracy. Just don't write a GS answer. Write about different perspectives of power and political party, pluralist concepts and everything. Everything is given in this answer, or add content from here, okay? Easy one. Education, social change, we have discussed. Education as a commodity of sale. Mainly you will be using which perspective, guys? Marxist approach. This I'll discuss next day. Constant sum game. Just go through this chapter. Constant sum, that is what Weber says. Variable sum game. It is nothing but constant sum. What Weber says is if somebody is possessing power, others won't possess. It's constant. It's like binary, 0, 1. One is power, the other is powerless. Okay. Variable sum game means it is not that someone is possessing the power. The someone who's possessed the power is a representative of the society. So it is collectively, have the power. And you see, more developed society are more powerful society. Okay. That's what variable sum game. Then Marxist concept, elite theories. Guys, all these are simple. You can just read this, understand it. Wilfred Pareto, Mosca, C. Wright Mills, they used to ask this pluralist concept of power. Now, whenever you are writing, suppose you are writing about any one of this, suppose they are asking you a question on Weber, mostly they will ask you comparison between constant sum and variable sum. This comparison will be asked. So once you're done with this comparison, write about Marxist, write about feminist, write about pluralist concepts. Okay, these three need to be there in your answer. Otherwise, simply they're asking constant sum game. Weber, then straightforward comparison you need to make is variable sum game. Talk about Parsons. Okay, power is collectively possessed by the society. It is communally owned. And then talk about pluralist, feminist, and then Marxist and all. So the point here is if one is asked, bring the others as well. Now, what is the advantage when you're writing in that way, guys? The advantage is in case if you're facing a problem with content here, you know at least the base that it is constant sum. Beyond that, even if you don't know much about that, you can actually solve that through these writings, because all are connected anyway. Okay, so that should be the best approach, and that is what I want you to follow. Pluralist theory, that in that Robert the Hell, very important. Okay, these names should come in your answers. Anthony Downs, Carl Mannheim, Arnold M. Rose. That's why I highlighted these names are very important. Out of this, Robert the Hell, Arnold M. Rose, these two are very important. Okay. Westergaard and Wessler. These C. Wright Mill theory, they will ask you. Mosca theory, they will ask you. Pareto theory, they will ask you separately. Prepare that separately. Civil society, how it help in democracy. Direct question. Science and technology and social change. Here, the different questions, social consequences of changes in technology. Guys, the thinkers, beyond thinkers, what you can add here is family relations, how is it changing? The social media, right? Because of technology, how the relations are changing, how the women affected. Even when you talk about this advent of dishwashers and this washing machines and all, even women can save a lot of time in household activity, and they can go away and they can work as well, and that lead to social mobility of female. That is another way of interpreting this, right? Advantages, the positives. There are negatives that lead to alienation and all those things you can mention. How is it affecting the aged? Okay, these are something which can be written even from your experience and general idea, but substantiated with thinkers. Cult of the individual we discussed in thinkers itself. Interest group, those are related to the pressure group itself. Circulation of elites. Theories of religion. What are the theories? I've discussed already. Ignore these theories, like some intellectual theory, psychological theory, philosophy theories are there. Just ignore that. We need Marx, Weber, Durkheim, Parsons, and then Malinowski, maybe Morton also. Okay. Functions, they can ask you, right? Social change, you will be using whom? Weber. Okay. Tocqueville, no need, just ignore that. Integrative force, you'll use Durkheim. Social control, you'll use Parsons, right? Parsons. Okay. Then other functions, just go through this. Dysfunction, mainly you use Merton, Marx, and other things which I've mentioned. Fundamentalism, revivalism, communalism, you can use here. These can be separate question, guys. Monism, pluralism, animism, totemism, all these can be separate questions. Okay. Sect, cult. Okay. Now, guys, today we will stop here and we will discuss tomorrow, or if possible, I will conduct a session on Monday. Actually, my battery charge is only 4%. That's why I will not be able to continue. Any doubts you have, we can discuss maybe for 5 minutes and then we can wind up for today. And then Monday, I'll give you the questions for this. The previous, some of you did not get your papers, that I'll share soon.